Hello, so we will be discussing about children's literature in the classroom now. So this chapter provides students with topics pertaining to literature as a springboard of creative activities, storytelling, dramatization, and puppets and marionettes for them to show appreciation for the various types of children's literature. So literature is springboard of creative activities. All students need good literature to feed their minds as well as to practice their reading skills with all types of text. So when literature is a central part of the classroom, the primary goal becomes to engage readers in the act of reading responsibly. So literature now introduces children to characters from diverse backgrounds and experiences. So through these stories, children can develop empathy and gain a deeper understanding of perspectives, emotions, and challenges faced by others. So this can help them relate to different people. Um, and cultures in the real world now. So literature expands children's understanding of themselves and the world. So literature promotes critical thinking. Literature often presents complex themes, moral dilemmas, and thought-provoking ideas. Now, so by engaging with literature, students or children are exposed to different viewpoints of life and they are encouraged to think critically about the characters' motivations, the consequences of their actions, and the broader social, cultural, or ethical issues explored in a specific story. So these um, fosters analytical thinking and helps children develop their own opinions and perspectives. Then we have literature supports the development of multicultural perspectives. So literature provides, a platform for children to explore and appreciate different cultures by delving into the customs, traditions, values, and histories of diverse communities through literature. Children can gain insights into the richness and the diversity of the world. So these exposure broadens their horizons, expands their knowledge, and encourages them to appreciate and celebrate multiculturalism by offering diverse perspectives, challenging stereotypes, promoting um, empathy, fostering cultural exploration, and supporting identity formation. Literature serves as a powerful tool in developing multicultural perspectives. It encourages students or children to embrace diversity, appreciate different cultures, and cultivate a more inclusive worldview. No? Then literature supports the development of multicultural perspective. Then we have literature provides resources for learning across content areas and curriculum standards. So literature is inherently connected to language and literacy development now. So, reading books, stories, and poems helps children improve their vocabulary, reading comprehension skills, and reading fluency. So, literature exposes children to different writing styles, different writing genre, and literary techniques. No, so in that way, by nurturing or by using literature, we are nurturing their language proficiency and fostering a love for reading. No? So by engaging with literature, children can reflect on their um, own emotions, they can reflect with their own behavior, develop social skills, and learn about ethical decision making. Now, by incorporating literature into various subject areas, educators can, enhance learning experiences, make content more engaging and relatable, and of course, foster in the interdisciplinary connections. And of course, literature serves as, again, a powerful tool that aligns with curriculum standards while promoting critical thinking, creativity, and a deeper understanding of the world. Then the last one is we have literature provides the tool that support development as readers and writers. So literature exposes children to a rich and diverse range and faces. Through reading books, children encounter new vocabulary and context, expanding their word knowledge or their vocabulary and understanding of the language itself. No, as they encounter unfamiliar words, they can infer their meaning from the context, right? No, strengthening their reading comprehension and vocabulary acquisition. So engaging with literature, of course, enhances reading comprehension skills. So by reading stories with complex plots, diverse characters, and various narrative structures, students or children develop the ability to understand and interpret text. They learn to identify main ideas. They learn to make inferences. They learn how to analyze, characters and events and draw connections, conclusions, no, between parts of the story. So these skills, no, transfer to other reading materials and support overall reading proficiency by, immersing themselves in literature. No, children by immersing themselves in literature, children gain exposure to quality writing, diverse genres, and engaging narratives because literature provides the tools and scaffolding necessary for developing reading comprehension, fluency, writing skills, grammar proficiency, and critical thinking ability. So it cultivates, a love for reading and writing. It is empowering children or students to become confident and proficient readers and writers. So, in order to um, achieve, these critical thinking, writing skills, so on and so forth, we have different springboard of creative activities. First is we have the storytelling. Storytelling is, as an ancient art form and a valuable form of human expression. It is an interactive art of using words and actions to reveal the elements and images of a story while encouraging the listener's imagination. So, storytelling is the art of, conveying information, ideas, and experiences through the use of narratives and different storytelling techniques. No, it involves the telling of a story whether orally, in written form, or through visual media. This is to engage and captivate an audience. No, so storytelling often includes characters, plot lines, settings, and themes that really evoke the emotions, provoke thoughts, and create connection between the storyteller, the listener, or the reader. It is a powerful means of communication, enabling the sharing of knowledge, traditions, and cultural heritage while entertaining and inspiring imagination. No, so under storytelling, we have storytelling is interactive. So storytelling involves a two-way interaction between a storyteller and one or more listeners. So the responses of the listeners influence the telling of the story. In fact, storytelling emerges from the interaction and cooperative, coordinated efforts of teller and the audience. Now, so in particular, storytelling does not create an imaginary barrier between the speaker and the listeners. This is part of what distinguishes storytelling from the forms of theater that use an imaginary fourth wall now. So different cultures and situations create different expectations for the exact roles of storyteller and listener, who speaks how often and when, for example, be um, 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 The interactive nature. The interaction or the interactive nature of storytelling partially accounts for its immediacy and impact. No, at its best, storytelling can directly and tightly connect the teller and the audience. Then we have storytelling uses words. Storytelling uses language, whether it be a spoken language or a manual language, such as American Sign Language. Um, the use of language distinguishes storytelling from most forms of dance and mime. So storytelling primarily uses words as the medium of communication. The storyteller carefully selects and arranges words to craft a narrative that engages the audience and conveys a message or meaning. So through the power of language, storytelling paints vivid images, evokes emotions, and creates a connection between the storyteller and the listener or reader. Storytelling primarily uses words as the medium of communication. The storyteller carefully selects and arranges words to craft a narrative that engages the audience and conveys a message or meaning. So through the power of language, storytelling paints vivid images, evokes emotions, and creates a connection between the storyteller and the listener or the reader. Now, storytelling presents a story. No? So storytelling always involves the presentation of a story. In narrative, many other art forms also present story, but storytelling presents it with the other four components. Every culture has its own definition of the story. No? So what is recognized as a story in one situation may not be accepted as one in another. Some situations call for spontaneity and playful digression. For example, others call for near exact repetition of a revered text. Now, remember that art forms such as poetry, recitation, stand up comedy sometimes present stories and sometimes don't. So, since they generally involve the other four components, they can be regarded as forms of storytelling whenever they also present stories. Then we have storytelling encourages the active imagination of the listeners. In storytelling, the listener imagines the story in most traditional theater or in a typical dramatic film. On the other hand, the listener enjoys the illusion that the listener is actually witnessing the character or events described in the story. So, the story telling listeners' role is to actively create the vivid multisensory images, actions, characters, and events, the reality of the story in his or her mind based on the performance by the teller and on the listener's own past experiences, listeners' beliefs, listeners' understanding of the story. So the completed story happens in the mind of the listener, a unique and personalized individual. Remember, the listener becomes a co-creator of story as the experience. No storytelling can be combined with other art forms. The fruit born by the vital contemporary storytelling movement includes the development of ways to combine storytelling with drama, with music, with dance, comedy, puppetry, and numerous other forms of expression. Yet, even as it blends into other arts, the essence of storytelling remains recognizable as the intersection of the five components included in the above statements. Now, next is we have the dramatization. The word drama means to act or do in dramatizing an individual attempts to act or do as somebody else has acted or is expected to act at a certain time in a certain place and situation. So in history, dramatization means the reconstructing of an experience in the past, which is of historical significance. No, it is the attempt to transcend the barrier of time and place and relive the experiences concerned. So, dramatization is a form of storytelling that involves the performance or enactment of a story through dramatic means such as acting, role playing, and theatrical presentation. It really brings stories to life by visually and experientially engaging the audience. Dramatization brings a unique and dynamic dimensions to storytelling, engaging the audience through live performances, visual elements, and emotional experiences. No, so it offers a vibrant and interactive way to share stories, making them more vivid, memorable, and accessible to a wide range of audiences. Then we have the types of dramatization. We have two types. We have extempore dramatization. So under that, we have instructions without prior preparations is imparted to the children in the class through this method. So this process develops the power of thinking and imagination of the pupils. Then we have prepared dramatization. So this type of dramatization is made beforehand. So students memorize dialogues and act according to instruction. It helps the students to learn the art of preparations of dialogue, and they can also memorize things. So extempore dramatization is also known as improvisational or spontaneous dramatization. Improv refers to a form of performance where actors create and enact a um, dramatic scene or narrative on the spot without prior planning or rehearsal. It involves impromptu acting, impromptu storytelling. It relies on the actor's creativity. It relies on the actor's quick thinking and collaboration to develop characters, dialogue, and actions in real time. Now, so this type or this form of dramatization encourages actors to think on their feet, no, react to each other's cues and make creative choices in the spur of the moment. No, it really requires a strong understanding of dramatic conventions, characterizations, and storytelling techniques, as well as the ability to listen, the ability to adopt and collaborate with fellow performers. Remember that extempore dramatization can be a dynamic, engaging form of performance. um, this is to showcase the actors' improvisational skills and their ability to create compelling narratives in real time. No, since it allows for unique and unpredictable storytelling experiences that really captivates and surprise both the performers and the audience. On the other hand, the prepared dramatization refers to a form of performance in which actors plan, rehearse, and carefully script a dramatic scene or narrative in advance. No, so unlike the other dramatization, which relies on improv, this form of dramatization involves thorough preparation and coordination to create a polished and rehearsed performance. No? So, in prepared dramatization, the actors work together to develop the script, the dialogues, the blocking, the characterizations prior to the actual performance. No? So, the actors rehearse the scene multiple times, refining their acting choices. No? So, they need also to refine their timing, they need to refine their stage movement to ensure a cohesive and impactful presentation. That is prepared dramatizations. Then we have the kinds of dramatization. We have full length play, we have tableau, pageant, shadow play, and puppet show. So full length play is vivid and realistic in nature. It gives a full representation of a whole scheme to be presented in the classroom. The whole idea of the topic or the whole idea of full length play, no, can be presented to the students in a natural way. It takes hours to perform for its success. A professional standard is really required in a full length play. No, detailed preparations and rehearsal is very much essential in a full length play. Then we have tableau. Tableau is even a more effective device for representing emotional theme. It is a picture-like scene of human characters presented against the background of their action. No, then we have the pageant, of course. It is another form of dramatization. It helps to depict an idea of arranging a spectacle. Then we have shadow play is devoid of speech like the tableau. In this technique of dramatization, a screen is placed between the actors and the audience. No, in order to reflect a shadow of the actors on screen, a light is kept at their back. The audience see only the shadow and not the actors. Then we have the puppet show. Puppet show is another technique of dramatization. No, so as a teacher, we can use this to help uh, we can we can use this um, type of dramatization, no, to give several kinds of puppets and dramatize the topic that we desire to teach. No, we can also use hand puppets, finger puppets, shadow puppets, so on and so forth. So, what are the advantages of dramatization? So, through dramatization, we can develop the creative instincts of the children. It helps in proper utilization of knowledge and activities of the children. It provides a change to the students from the formal and rigid atmosphere of classroom and reading of books. It is psychological to help in developing the power of learning of the students. It provides them an opportunity to acquire knowledge through activities. Now, it also provides them an opportunity to acquire knowledge through activity. It has to develop the power of self creativeness and activity. It helps them to develop the power of sympathy and imagination. Power of observation also developed through this method. It provides education along with precaution. The students develop the art of speaking while developing self confidence and the power of understanding. It also develops in the students the power of appreciation and aesthetic sense. Okay, so these are the advantages of dramatization. So, one of the best techniques in storytelling is by using the puppets and the marionettes. So, puppets are figures usually in imitation of life under an operator's control, used for dramatic presentation. The word puppet refers to two types of hand-manipulated artificial figures: puppet, a doll manipulated directly by hand, and marionette, a doll manipulated by strings. So puppets and marionettes are forms of theatrical objects that are manipulated by puppeteers to bring characters to life. So puppets are objects that are animated by a puppeteer using their hands or other parts of the body. They can be made of various materials such as fabric, foam, wood, or plastic. Puppets come in different forms. We have hand puppet, finger puppets, rod puppets, and shadow puppets. Marionettes, on the other hand, naman niya, is called as string puppets. They are puppets controlled by strings or wires attached to the various parts of their body. So marionettes are usually operated from above, using strings, allowing for intricate and detailed movements. So the puppeteer controls the puppet's movement by um, manipulating the strings attached to its limbs, head, and other parts of the body. So marionettes are often crafted with joints and mechanisms that enable more complex movements, including walking, dancing, and gesturing. Now, they require skillful manipulation and coordination from the puppeteer to bring the characters to life. So, puppets and marionettes are used in various forms of puppetry, including stage performances, storytelling, educational presentations, and entertainment. They provide a unique and enchanting way to engage audiences as the puppeteer breathes life into inanimate objects, creating a captivating and immersive theatrical experience. Then we have the classifications of puppets. We have stick puppets. They are flat cutouts painted to represent the desired characters and attached to a stick or rod. We have shadow puppets or silhouettes, are flat black cutouts from cardboard paper. Finger and hand puppets are the easiest type to make through. Though not to operate, they can be made from socks or grocery bag or old pieces of cloth shaped like a head. String puppets are often called marionettes. The word is of French origin. No, so these puppets have a rich history in various cultures around the world, with their own distinct styles and techniques. No, they continue to be appreciated for their craftsmanship, theatric, uh, theatricality, and the enchanting performance that they offer. Then we have the values of puppets and marionettes. So cooperation is developed among members of the class. So puppets and marionettes capture students' attention and make learning more engaging and interactive. No, so shy and slow learners can make significant contribution. Puppets and marionettes facilitate communication and language development. So students can practice and improve their speaking and listening skills as they use the puppets to express themselves. No, a great deal of out of classroom work is done. Interest in reading are developed. No, so remember that puppets, um, you know, add a touch of magic and playfulness to the educational experience of the students. No, so by incorporating puppets and marionettes in the classroom, teachers can create a dynamic and interactive learning environment that promotes different skills for the students. Then we have oral and written forms of expressions are improved, develop artistic and creative skills, and develop manipulative skills. No? Advantages of puppets. Puppets provide opportunities for many participants. It does not involve too much exercise. It requires little in the way of costumes, stage props, and equipment. Pupils or students may engage in every aspect of production of puppet or marionette plays. So by incorporating puppets into the classroom, teachers can harness their unique qualities to enhance engagement, communication skills, creativity, and social and emotional development. Puppets create a vibrant and interactive learning environment that fosters enthusiasm, active participation, and a deeper understanding of the curriculum. Then, principles in using for puppet plays or puppet play for teaching do not use puppets for stories or plays that can be done just as well or better by other dramatic means. Puppet plays must be based on action rather than on words. Puppet plays must be short. Puppet plays must be adapted to the particular audience. Music and dancing can be made part of the puppet show. The hand puppet can be the narrator or storyteller, audience involvement, and participation. So, by using um, puppets, it can play effectively to engage the audience, encourage their participation, and create a sense of shared storytelling. So, the combination of different elements, puppetry techniques, and interactive elements can make the performance memorable, enjoyable, and of course, it's very educational for the audience members of different age. Thank you.